A wealthy customer is completely outraged by a massive $3 million price tag, demanding to know why a basic slime could possibly cost that much money. Lu Yu calmly explains that this pet is actually anything but a normal monster, guaranteeing that she will definitely get her money's worth if she gives it a shot. The girl counters that 3 million could buy a high-potential C-star beast instead of this B-tier talent slime. While the shopkeeper admits her market math is normally correct, he promises this specific creature is far superior to any standard beast on the market. It possesses a rare devour talent that allows it to endlessly evolve into a god-level threat, leaving his potential buyer highly skeptical of these wild, unproven claims. Lu Yu simply challenges her to buy it and test the beast out for herself, but their sales pitch is suddenly cut short by a very unwelcome visitor. His smug ex-girlfriend Bai Yue struts into the shop, immediately mocking his family's downfall, and the shopkeeper is visibly annoyed to see his former partner showing up out of nowhere, especially since she only came to gloat about his complete lack of beast-taming talent. Hearing this revelation, the pink-haired customer is shocked to learn her seller has no magical gift. Lu Yu quickly reassures her that his own talent level has nothing to do with running a successful shop. Bai Yue keeps looking down on him, claiming a talentless person should just live a quiet life. The pink-haired girl immediately recognizes this toxic ex-girlfriend behavior straight out of a classic anime, and Lu Yu advises his customer not to waste any energy on such a petty person. Spurred on by the ex's arrogance, the customer decides to buy the slime on the spot to prove who is lying. The pink-haired customer immediately feeds the slime a silver-grade treat to test its limits. And the little beast absorbs the high-tier food instantly, triggering a massive surge of energy that transforms the creature. The slime's potential instantly skyrockets all the way to stage 9 while unlocking a brand new water skill, leaving the smug ex-girlfriend with no way to deny this impossible transformation. Having exposed the ex's lies, the buyer wastes no more time on her petty drama, though she still tries to sneak the expensive upgrade feed into the deal for free. Lu Yu is not running a charity and charges her the full 3 million, which she promptly pays for by card, instantly triggering his system to unlock his beast space and grant him an SSS rank talent called Dark Hell. The system assistant explains that this god-tier talent will allow his dark dragon to level up through pure activity, bringing a long-awaited victory to Lu Yu as he finally regains a beast-taming talent after a decade of misery, taking his mind back to a dark night 10 years ago when his life was ruined. When a young Lu Yu walked in on his cruel stepmother, who had just orchestrated his mother's downfall, she revealed that the only reason she ever tolerated raising him was to get her hands on his rare dragon talent, before dropping the bombshell that his parents' fatal accident was actually her doing. She proudly confessed to stealing his innate abilities to feed her own son's dual talent awakening, violently ripping the talent source straight out of the screaming child. Leaving him broken and empty on the cold floor, with a final command to live out the rest of his life as talentless trash. Lu Yu cannot help but look back on how he almost spent his life as a talentless nobody, but his new mythic system is about to change everything as it fully initializes. The system promises him a path to endless talents, resources, and game-changing rewards, which is perfect because completing sales missions is a breeze for an experienced shopkeeper. This is his golden ticket to finally make his stepfamily pay back every ounce of suffering. Back in the real world, his ex-girlfriend is still hanging around trying to ruin his business. Our boy has officially run out of patience and tells her she has crossed the line. Bai Jingyan immediately plays the victim, threatening to call the cops if he touches her. Instead of getting mad, he just tells her to get out of his shop. She refuses to leave, claiming she is a paying customer who actually wants to buy a pet. Right on cue, the system alerts him that one more sale this week triggers an SSS rank reward. Seeing a perfect opportunity, Lu Yu decides to offer her a very special mutated skeleton, except the legendary beast in question looks like a tiny, extremely confused Halloween decoration. The ex immediately scoffs, wondering why a B-rank tamer like her would buy this junk. The shopkeeper doubles down, insisting this little guy is actually a mutated skeleton emperor. She is not buying it, calling it the lowest tier undead trash she has ever seen. Little does she know this tiny bone buddy packs some seriously broken potential, meaning it can level up infinitely and evolve into a god-tier undead overlord. Lu Yu presents the deal with absolute confidence, waiting to see if she takes the bait. But his ex remains completely skeptical, laughing off the idea of a pet with infinite growth. Shen snaps back at the ex, calling her out for refusing to see what is right in front of her, but Lu Yu tells her to drop it, joking that some people just do not have an eye for quality. Offended by the jab, the ex accuses them of being partners in a scam and calls in a professional, summoning a rival pet shop manager to come over to the west gate and expose them. Shortly after, a delivery truck pulls up outside the shop, and Yang Qing, the manager of Glorious Pet Shop, walks in carrying a high-grade slime. This rare water attribute slime has a devouring talent that lets it absorb other pets to grow stronger. The ex waves him over, eager to finally put Lu Yu in his place, while Yang apologizes for being distracted and asks if she is ready to sign a contract. Instead of focusing on her own delivery, she directs his attention to the skeleton jar, hoping to prove how cheap and worthless Lu Yu's starter pet really is. Looking closer, the manager immediately senses a strange energy coming from the little undead, prompting him to activate his specialized Eye of Data skill to scan its stats. The scan reveals the exact same infinite growth talent, confirming the skeleton is a sleeping giant. Yang instantly offers to buy the skeleton at any price, leaving Lu Yu feeling vindicated. Which absolutely flabbergasts the ex, who cannot believe a pro would drop millions on trash. The manager shuts her down, asking if she seriously doubts his evaluation skills, leaving her completely speechless as she realizes the tiny skeleton really is a future undead emperor, capable of raising a massive, unstoppable army of darkness, while outside, a massive horde of summoned skeletons suddenly begins to swarm the streets. Xiaoqing finally connects the dots, realizing Lu Yu's hidden class is an absolute nightmare for mass-producing armies, while Yang points out this ridiculous scale is definitely the perk of his unique awakening. The manager admits he might be slow on the uptake, but he knows a powerhouse when he sees one. Since the massive horde is currently terrifying the local citizens, Yang asks Lu Yu to pack them up, prompting our boy to dispel the massive summoning circle while keeping his true ambitions to himself. Everyone else just sees basic skeletons, but he still remembers his vision of the legendary skeletal dragon. An hour later, the scene shifts back to the main academy grounds, where the head instructor officially wraps up the class awakening ceremony and congratulates the students, announcing that everyone will head to the beginner dungeon tomorrow morning to earn some massive bonus credits. Lu Yu is completely on board with getting stronger while securing extra points. But the peaceful vibe gets interrupted when a wealthy classmate tries to hit on Xiaoqing. She immediately shuts the guy down, telling him he would only drag her down before brushing the guy off completely to chase down Lu Yu instead, who is not exactly thrilled to be bothered again, wondering what she could possibly want, only for his ex to demand a rematch to finally prove who is the superior student. Our guy casually accepts the challenge, though he cannot resist teasing her about losing again. Xiaoqing immediately gets riled up by his smug attitude, refusing to let him look down on her, which gives her rejected suitor the perfect excuse to step in and draw his sword, threatening to break Lu Yu's legs right here so he cannot even enter the dungeon tomorrow. Before things can escalate, Xiaoqing steps between them and demands a fair and square fight tomorrow. Qian Zihao decides to back off for Xiaoqing's sake, but warns our guy to watch his back, threatening to put him in a hospital bed for a month if they cross paths tomorrow. Lu Yu just shrugs it off with a smirk, telling him he will be waiting. The next morning, armored transports drop the students off at the massive trial facility, which is already packed with nervous rookies getting ready for their first real dungeon run. Everyone is buzzing with excitement, though most of them are stuck in the beginner zones, wondering if they even have a shot at reaching the higher tier areas. Xiaoqing spots Lu Yu in the crowd and immediately walks over to check on his plans, asking if he's planning to team up or go solo, which he obviously is, prompting her to go solo too just so he cannot claim she had any help. Before they can bicker any further, the head instructor calls the crowd to order, announcing an 8-hour time limit where reaching level 3 secures their passing grade. There are also massive point bonuses on the line for killing elites, leaders, and bosses, and with the rules set, the massive portal to the wild grass plains finally roars to life. The students immediately charge straight into the vortex, desperate to claim the first wave of monsters, leaving Lu Yu behind to casually watch the chaotic stampede unfold. Knowing he needs to secure those extra points, he decides it is time to get a bit serious, stepping through the portal and landing softly on the other side, only to realize the dungeon teleports everyone to completely random spots. But before he can even map out his surroundings, a strange noise nearby catches his attention. It turns out to be a prairie gopher, which he thinks is actually pretty cute for a starter monster, but this little guy immediately lets out a deafening screech, sending a painful sonic wave that catches our guy completely off guard. Before he can recover, the rodent charges forward with surprising speed, launching itself straight at his chest and latching on, trying to sink its teeth right into his face. Realizing this cute starter mob is actually a bloodthirsty menace, Lu Yu desperately tries to pry the angry furball off him, finally pulling it away before it can take a bite, and sending it flying back with a swift kick. The gopher rolls into the dirt, whimpering from the impact, while Lu Yu dusts himself off, annoyed that he almost got taken out by a common rodent. Deciding he is done holding back, he snaps his fingers to summon some backup, calling forth a skeleton mage from the darkness. In fact, he brings out a whole squad of undead mages to ensure a total overkill, showing off their stats and their signature fireball skill. Pointing right at the target, he commands his new army to start blasting, prompting the mages to launch a barrage of flames at the cornered gopher. The resulting explosion completely vaporizes the tiny monster, earning him his first 10 experience points of the trial. The system confirms he only received 10 experience points for defeating the gopher, which Lu Yu realizes is far too slow if he wants to level up quickly. Fortunately, he has an entire undead army ready to do the heavy lifting for him, immediately setting his skeleton mages to free attack mode to sweep the entire zone. Meanwhile, far away from the trial grounds, school officials gather for a meeting, discussing whether their academy stands a real chance at winning the upcoming tournament. One dean is completely confident in their prospects, bragging about the powerful epic class student they managed to recruit this year. But a colleague quickly dampens his mood by revealing their rivals have a hidden class student, causing the arrogant official to completely choke on his tea. The shocking revelation leaves him completely stunned, though he hopes these elite rivals will at least clear out the toughest monsters first. Back in the wild, the prairie gophers find themselves getting absolutely decimated by magic, as the skeleton mages target every single creature trying to flee the area, turning the entire dungeon zone into a massive, fiery war zone. All the while, the summoner is just taking a relaxing nap in the grass. Back at the female dorms, a student returns with a cute new slime pet, which her roommate immediately warns her to hide before they get caught. Unfortunately, the strict dorm monitor spots them right on the stairs, reminding them of the rules against bringing ornamental pets inside. The blue-haired roommate tries to play it cool, saying they did not mean any harm. while Nyan immediately stands her ground, arguing that her new pet is actually a legit summon. This gets a laugh out of Chu Ying, an elite beast master who cannot believe anyone would waste a contract on a trash slime. Even the onlookers find it hard to believe since Nyan unlocked a top-tier ranked talent, but she reveals this is not a normal slime, but a rare beast that actually grows by eating resources. Chu Ying dismisses the claim entirely, arguing that a basic slime cannot ever get past stage 3. That theory instantly falls apart when Nyan reveals her pet is already at stage 5, leaving her friends worried she got scammed by some sketchy seller. Determined to shut down the doubters, Nyan decides to show them exactly what this little guy can do. She brings up the massive fortune Chu Ying spent on her own wolf, who boasts about her expensive stage 6 summon as if it is unbeatable. Without hesitating, Nyan pulls out a rare magic crystal worth over 1,000,000 credits and tosses it straight to the little slime to devour. The room goes dead silent as the girls realize the creature is actually absorbing the raw energy, channeling the massive power boost through its tiny body. In a matter of seconds, the slime triggers a massive breakthrough all the way to stage 10. The roommate can barely process seeing a stage 10 slime right in front of her, while Chu Ying's smug attitude completely vanishes as her worldview is shattered. But Nyan tells them they have not seen anything yet, urging them to keep watching, as her pet's evolution potential continues to skyrocket into a legendary Starfall grade. Chu Ying absolutely refuses to believe a basic slime could ever reach Starfall potential, and her pride instantly takes a massive hit in front of the entire dorm. Unable to accept the humiliation, she demands they settle this with an immediate fight outside. To prove her point, she calls out her prize steel wolf to crush the little slacker. The wolf charges in with everything it has got, ready to tear the tiny creature apart, only for the slime to casually unleash a transcendent-grade water spear that absolutely obliterates it. Seeing her elite combat beast get swatted like a fly leaves Chu Ying completely speechless, dropping to her knees as her entire worldview crashes down around her. Nyan stands tall, reminding everyone why they should not judge a pet by its cover, but decides to play the bigger person and let the insult slide for the sake of peace. Meanwhile, the other roommate immediately starts begging to know where she got such a monster. The very next day, a brand new pet shop opens its doors in the middle of town. A wealthy, arrogant customer walks in to inspect the new competition. Spotting a rare sleeping sub-dragon that he thinks would make the perfect gift for his sister, he points it out and demands a price, assuming money can buy absolutely anything, but the shop owner politely explains that the dragon is actually his own contracted beast. Even after a blank check is practically thrown at him, the boss firmly refuses to sell. Offended by the rejection, the rich guy decides to use brute force to get his way. Summoning his high-tier Blackfeather Crow to trash the shop and teach the owner a lesson, completely unaware that he is picking a fight with someone way out of his league. The sub-dragon does not even need to move, simply releasing a terrifying dark pressure which instantly overwhelms the arrogant crow before it can even launch an attack. The poor bird gets blasted away like a common pigeon, completely knocked out cold. Because of the severe mental backlash from his pet getting wrecked, the rich guy starts coughing up blood, utterly stunned that his elite crow was defeated by a single glance. He realizes this beast is actually a legendary demon dragon, a species so rare even the top clans do not have one, and decides that his life is worth way more than his pride. Scrambling out the door in a total panic, he leaves the shop owner to casually laugh at the quick exit. Sometime later, the defeated troublemaker ends up at the local hospital to patch himself up, only to get hit with a massive bill of 5 million, realizing that single look from the dragon just cost him a fortune in medical expenses. Fuming over his terrible luck, he accidentally bumps into someone in the hallway and snaps at them, only to realize he just yelled at his powerful older brother, Luo Tiangxian. The younger brother immediately freezes up, wondering what his sibling is even doing at the hospital. Tiangxian explains he came to investigate who dared to embarrass their family so badly, but the younger brother desperately warns him to drop it because they are dealing with a monster. This only makes the older brother more curious about who could possibly scare his family, prompting the redhead to whisper the truth about the shop owner's terrifying contract beast. Hearing that someone actually tamed a legendary demon dragon leaves the older brother completely speechless, since a beast master with that kind of power has not been seen in ages, making him demand to know the guy's identity. Tiangxian demands his younger brother take him to see this mysterious beast master immediately, but the kid actually hesitates, warning his older brother that even a gold-grade master might get wrecked. That earns him a swift smack to the head as Tiangxian explains he wants to apologize, not pick a fight. Relieved that his brother is not completely suicidal, the troublemaker quickly agrees to lead the way. On the way, the older sibling realizes that any elite master capable of taming a legendary demon dragon must have some deep secret connection to the powerful Lu family ruling Magic City. Once they arrive outside the store, the younger brother nervously points out the shop entrance, prompting the owner to casually ask if they brought backup after getting trashed the first time. Before a fight can even start, the older brother grabs his sibling by the collar, forcing them both into a deep, respectful bow to apologize on behalf of their family. To show he is completely serious about making amends for his brother's dumb behavior, Tiangxian pulls out a rare token of apology to officially beg for forgiveness. This peace offering turns out to be a platinum-grade skyward crystal, a highly coveted spatial resource. The shop owner is secretly thrilled, wondering what kind of rich whale just walked through his door, especially since he was just trying to figure out how to expand his own beast space. Keeping his cool, the owner accepts the gift and dismisses the whole drama as a minor kid's scuffle, before casually mentioning that he can sense the older brother's newly unlocked beast slot. Astonished by his sharp senses, the elite brother admits he did just advance to gold grade. Seizing the business opportunity, the shop owner points out they have the perfect match for his talent, introducing him to a rather unimposing scarlet flame chicken sitting in a cage. Su Ping drops the price tag, offering the caged bird for a cool 3 million, and trusting the senior's reputation, Tianxian immediately agrees to buy it. This leaves his younger brother panicking over wasting their family fortune on a pet chicken. Sensing their hesitation, the shop owner asks if they think he is trying to scam them, prompting the older brother to quickly smooth things over and explain he just did not get the vision. Su Ping assures him this is a special reward for their sincere apology, revealing that this little bird can actually refine any flame to constantly boost its own potential. Stunned by this incredible claim, Tianxian cannot believe his ears. Immediately asking for permission to test the bird's abilities right then and there. He summons a rare cold flame to see how the pet handles the heat, but instead of burning, the little bird sits completely unfazed inside the cage. It casually sucks the frost fire right out of the air, unleashing a massive, legendary phoenix avatar that absolutely dominates the room. The display leaves Tianxian completely speechless, realizing he just bought a future flame emperor. Overwhelmed with gratitude, the brothers bow deeply to thank their benefactor for such a god-tier blessing. The shop owner just brushes it off, calling it a simple, everyday transaction, which prompts Tianxian to ask if he has any connection to the legendary Lu family. The mention of that name instantly sours the mood, as Su Ping cold-heartedly states he has absolutely no ties to them anymore. Seeing this tense reaction, the young master realizes he just uncovered a massive family grudge. Once the brothers finally take their leave, Su Ping bids them a casual farewell, leaving him completely alone to test out the power of the skyward crystal, diving straight into his beast space to absorb its massive energy reservoir, which triggers an immediate breakthrough that violently shakes his entire domain. The system confirms his beast space has expanded to a massive 100,000 square meters, officially pushing his own rank all the way up to Transcendent Stage 1. With his own power-up complete, he turns his attention to his dragon pet, channeling the remaining energy to force a massive evolution for the beast. The system assistant pops up to confirm the dragon has reached Transcendent grade, unlocking high-level skills that make the massive beast look absolutely terrifying. Su Ping promises his newly evolved partner they will hunt some real dragon meat soon. The next day, things seem quiet around the shop as business goes on. But the boss is already on the phone checking in on his other projects. Tang Ruyan reports that their slime has successfully hit max awakening stage with starful potential, before casually mentioning that Yang Qing shut down his entire shop to train his skeleton. This training apparently involves sending the little guy to a local chicken slaughterhouse, where the skeleton has somehow ground its way to Transcendent Stage 1 in just days. The green-haired master is taking this bizarre training method completely seriously, leaving the regular slaughterhouse workers absolutely terrified of his sheer dedication. With the grind finally complete, Yang Qing prepares for his absolute last day of slaying chickens. The slaughterhouse workers think Yang Qing is completely wasting his talent as a transcendent beast master, but the green-haired master is only getting started and announces he is moving on to pigs next. His grand plan is to earn a professional butcher's license at a high-level facility, which will grant him access to restricted areas filled with much deadlier monsters, hoping to slice through enough Wraith-class beasts to push his skeleton to the absolute limit. Reading the updates on his phone, Su Ping thinks his friend is taking these training methods a bit too far, though he has to admit that a slaughterhouse is the perfect place to level up a skeleton warrior. At this rate, Yang Qing might actually pull off a miracle and become a top-tier master tomorrow. Just then, a text update reveals the skeleton has already hit Transcendent Stage 3, followed by news of a masked customer looking to get some high-level pet training. With business booming, our favorite shopkeeper quickly replies to a message and welcomes another new client. While relaxing back at his desk, his newly evolved demon dragon climbs up for some attention, prompting a promise that they will expand the shop's training space soon to help him break through next. Right on cue, a fancy-looking visitor steps through the front doors to inspect the shop. This unexpected guest is actually Zhang Chuliang, the owner of a rival pet store called Demon World, who immediately looks down on the place, openly doubting that a dump like this has anything valuable. The rival owner explains he was sent by Yang Qing, who claimed the shop's pets are top tier. And Su Ping casually replies that while they are not top tier, they definitely only deal in high-end beasts. This bold claim instantly triggers the rival's ego, making him scoff at the sheer audacity of a tiny shop, setting the stage for a quiet battle of pride as the two business owners size each other up. Zhang Chuliang demands to see these supposed high-end beasts immediately to prove the shop is not a scam, prompting Su Ping to casually summon his first candidate for the test, which turns out to be a tiny, unassuming goblin locked inside a metal cage. The rival owner is completely baffled by the underwhelming creature sitting before him, instantly accusing Su Ping of playing him for a fool with a basic low-level monster. The rival rants that he was willing to overlook previous insults if the shop actually had good stock, but presenting this low-level beast proves the shopkeeper has completely wasted his only chance. The angry rival confidently predicts the shop will go bankrupt within 3 days, leaving Su Ping utterly unfazed by the dramatic threat of ruin. Before the argument can escalate any further, some highly influential guests suddenly step through the door. It turns out to be the elite heirs of the powerful Jiang family, whose presence immediately commands the attention of everyone in the shop. The rival owner instantly recognizes them and stammers out a nervous, fawning greeting. Suddenly realizing he might have made a massive, life-threatening mistake, realizing this small shop might be backed by the legendary Luo family, he worries he just poked a hornet's nest, and his desperate attempts to play nice are met with total silence as they walk past. Instead, the young master bows respectfully to Su Ping, greeting him as an esteemed senior. The young heiress is immediately struck by how handsome and young the shopkeeper is. While Jiang Chuliang completely loses his mind over why an elite would show such deep respect, the loudmouth is immediately shut down by the young master, who demands absolute silence. Chuliang collapses on the floor, fully convinced his business and life are forfeit after insulting the Luo family, while the young master introduces his younger sister Jingying, who politely asks to be called by name. Su Ping casually accepts, though his mind is actually occupied with how to evolve his own demon dragon since refunds are off the table. Noticing the shopkeeper's distracted look, the young master assumes he is stressed about the failed sale and immediately offers to buy the unwanted goblin himself just to help out. His sister is completely flabbergasted that he would buy a random pet without even asking for its stats first, but the young master insists his trust in the senior is absolute, caught off guard by his own blind faith. Appreciating the gesture, Su Ping decides it is only fair to give them a proper explanation of what this beast can do. He reveals that this particular goblin has a unique passive ability to pass down its strength to its offspring. The stronger the parent gets, the higher the starting potential and aptitude of the next generation, meaning they could easily breed an entire custom army of elite monsters in record time. On the floor, the rival owner realizes he just threw away a literal goldmine and completely loses his mind. The young master immediately begs Su Ping to lock in the sale for the Luo family, realizing a beast with dragon lineage breeding potential is basically a cheat code to spawning a private army, which could easily elevate their clan's power level to godlike status. Su Ping is perfectly fine with this, stating he only cares about making the sale regardless of who gets it. However, he warns them that the buyer needs to find a highly compatible beast master to seal the contract, leaving the young sister horrified as she imagines herself having to bond with the bizarre-looking creature. Luckily, her brother already has a perfect candidate in mind to take one for the team. Luo Feng reveals his chosen candidate is Luo En, an illegitimate son with a dark family history, explaining that saving the guy from exile bought him absolute, unbreakable loyalty. Overhearing this heavy family drama on the floor, the rival shopkeeper instantly regrets having ears, realizing that sharing classified clan secrets in front of an outsider is usually a death sentence. The young master's gaze turns incredibly icy, focusing right on the unwanted witness, prompting Jiang Chuliang to frantically pretend he suddenly lost his hearing. While the sister casually asks if they should just eliminate him, the rival begs to merely be crippled, but the young master decides to let him off with a very stern warning instead. He unleashes a terrifying threat, promising a brutal end if even a single whisper of this conversation gets out, which has the rival immediately clamping his own mouth shut to prove he is mute. Su Ping is honestly impressed by how fast the man's survival instincts kicked in to save his skin. With that mess sorted, the younger sister turns to her brother to demand her share of the spoils, complaining that she wants a powerful monster companion of her own. Her brother reassures her, promising that the shopkeeper can find her an even better beast, which immediately gets her super excited about the possibilities. She eagerly approaches Su Ping, asking if he has a pet that perfectly matches her abilities, giving him her best pleading look to secure a top-tier deal. She reveals she possesses an rank ice soul talent and wants to match her brother's fire powers. The shopkeeper does not even blink, calmly telling her that he has just the thing. Before summoning a high-quality ice beast that is guaranteed to fit her perfectly, Su Ping presents an incredibly rare ice fox trapped inside a gilded cage, prompting the young girl to ask if this little guy can actually refine different ice types. The shopkeeper confirms her suspicion, explaining that it can absorb external ice elements to grow endlessly stronger, which immediately tempts her to test out the beast's magical abilities right then and there. The tiny creature effortlessly siphons the frost magic from her palm, instantly proving its elite potential. She's completely blown away by the results, expecting a price tag of at least 100 million, but our main guy just gives her a relaxed smile instead of taking advantage of her. He sets the price at a flat 3 million, keeping his insane discount active for her too. Luo Feng quickly transfers 6 million total for both beasts, thanking him for the massive family favor. Though Su Ping casually waves off the gratitude like it is just another day at the shop, their celebration gets cut short when his little skeleton dragon suddenly detects a threat from outside, drawing everyone's attention toward the storefront as an incredibly powerful presence approaches their location. Outside the shop, a massive pressure begins to warp the air and stir up the dust, revealing a distinct dragon's aura that Su Ping recognizes from his previous experiences. He realizes the rival Lu family has finally lost their patience and decided to make their move. Meanwhile, far away at the luxurious, heavily guarded estate of the powerful Lu clan, a massive, high-ranking dragon rests peacefully under the watchful eye of its wealthy masters. The elegant matriarch of the family summons her head investigator for a secret, urgent briefing, ordering him to keep a strict, round-the-clock watch on the rogue heir Lu Yu, while also hunting down the massive stash of hidden wealth his parents left behind. The Lu family matriarch demands to know if there are any leads after all these years, prompting her investigator to report a sudden, highly unusual development regarding Lu Yu. He reveals that the rogue heir has somehow awakened a beast-taming talent and contracted a black dragon. This news completely shocks the matriarch, since she knows his original talent source was already extracted from his body. Realizing the potential threat he poses, she orders the investigator to eliminate Lu Yu immediately. The spy quickly accepts the assassination order and prepares to carry out the hit. Back at the shop, Su Ping's system notifies him that he has successfully sold 5 beast cubs, unlocking an incredibly rare reward for a random SSS rank beast master talent. Thrilled by the notification, he does not hesitate to hit the claim button, eager to see what kind of legendary power he is about to receive. The system processes his request and officially unlocks his brand new ability, granting him a terrifying SSS rank beast master talent called Godslaying Doomsday. The sudden surge of raw energy immediately forces the visiting Luo siblings to their knees. Luo Feng struggles to comprehend the sheer scale of the oppressive pressure filling the room, realizing it is far too powerful to be a mere B-rank ability. He wonders if this is the legendary SSS rank, while a clueless Su Ping asks why they are kneeling. The siblings struggle to stay upright under the weight of his newly awakened power, with Luo Ying admitting her legs completely gave out from the sheer intensity. Once the pressure finally subsides, the exhausted siblings quickly excuse themselves and say their goodbyes. Luo Ying is still whining because she wants to hang out with Su Ping longer. But her brother drags her away anyway, forcing her to head back home. Just as things finally quiet down at the mythic pet shop for the night, a hostile beast master on a massive green dragon arrives, hunting for Lu Yu. Lu Yu is not backing down, stepping out to face the threat head-on while the assassin mocks him for wasting his second chance at life. The young beastmaster is fueled by vengeance, ready to make them pay for the past. His mind flashes back to the dark rainy night at the Lu family estate, where a helpless young Lu Yu begged his uncle to save him from their greed. Instead of helping, the heartless butler kicked him straight to the floor, claiming it was a supreme honor to sacrifice his talent for the clan heir. The terrified boy cried out that he did not want any part of their plans, only to get brutally stomped on for trying to fight back. Even as he tried to crawl away, the cold matriarch blocked his escape, leaving the helpless kid desperate to protect the power that was rightfully his. A heavy boot pinned his hand down, making it clear he had no say, while the matriarch casually ordered them to make the extraction quick and clean. The butler happily obliged, looming over the boy with a sinister grin, and brutally stole his original talent source in a bloody, agonizing procedure. Now back in the present, Lu Yu is ready to end this grudge once and for all. The agonizing memory finally fades, leaving only the echoing screams of his past and the haunting laughter of the family that ruined his life. Back in reality, the assassin dismisses Lu Yu's new power as a mere beast master, warning him that going against the entire Lu family is a death sentence. But Lu Yu treats their name like absolute garbage, immediately setting the assassin off. Right on cue, Lu Yu's little dragon companion steps up with a tiny roar, which only makes the killer laugh at the kid's pathetic attempt to look tough. To show him real power, the assassin summons his own massive gale dragon, claiming Lu Yu's underdeveloped pet will not survive a single strike. With a cold command, he orders his beast to unleash a devastating hurricane, sending a massive blast of wind straight at the target. Lu Yu does not even flinch as the storm closes in, letting the attack completely engulf him in a thick cloud of dust. Believing the fight is already over, the assassin mocks the weak dragon's final moments, only for a massive wave of fiery energy to rip right through the wind. Out of the flames rises a terrifying, colossal dragon force, as Lu Yu casually asks if that weak little breeze was all his opponent had. Realizing the tables have turned, the kid tells the assassin he is already dead, while his small companion fully transforms into a legendary armored fire beast. Left completely speechless, the assassin can only watch in horror as his easy target becomes his worst nightmare. The assassin desperately clings to the delusion that his Starfall-grade beast cannot be defeated, but Lu Yu casually dismisses the family's prized wyvern as a mere midday snack, before unleashing his ultimate power by activating the legendary dragon domain, which instantly blankets the entire battlefield under an immense, suffocating pressure. This completely shatters the assassin's confidence, since a domain is a legendary power, reserved only for the absolute highest tier of sovereign dragon species. To his horror, Lu Yu smugly confirms that his companion is indeed a legendary demon dragon, a world-ending predator specifically known for devouring the Lu family's so-called dragons. Right on cue, the colossal beast lunges forward and tears into the Gale Wyvern, launching a brutal, one-sided assault that completely bypasses all of its defenses. The Wyvern stands absolutely no chance against the raw power of a true apex predator, getting ruthlessly torn apart and overwhelmed in a matter of seconds. With its spirit completely broken, the assassin's summon is easily crushed and defeated. The hitman collapses to the pavement in utter disbelief as Lu Yu slowly approaches, leaving him utterly broken, bleeding, and with absolutely no way to fight back. Without a single shred of hesitation, our main guy pins the target under his boot, mockingly asking how it feels to be stepped on by the family trash. Pressing his foot down even harder, he admits he has been waiting years for this, while the terrified assassin desperately begs for mercy by bringing up their shared childhood. But Lu Yu only smiles, reminding him of how miserable that childhood actually was. Lu Yu forces the assassin to look up and watch his final moments unfold. As the massive demon dragon sinks its teeth into the defeated wyvern, the dragon tosses the wyvern high into the air, swallowing the enemy summon whole in a single massive gulp. This completely breaks the hitman, who cries out in despair over his lost partner. He desperately grovels at Lu Yu's feet, promising to do absolutely anything for his life. Our guy just looks down at him, entirely unmoved by the sudden pleading, his eyes showing that mercy was never on the table today. He coldly tells the assassin to go repent in hell, ordering his dragon to finish the job once and for all. A massive claw sweeps down on the helpless target, ending the threat instantly and leaving nothing but a crater behind. With the battle over, Liu Yu warmly praises his dragon for a job well done. Right on cue, his holographic system assistant pops up to celebrate the victory. She hands over a rare resource reward for defeating an enemy beastmaster, revealing a legendary item called the Demonic Heart. This powerful item can instantly upgrade a Dark-type pet skill to Red Star grade, but the rewards do not stop there as the assistant delivers even better news, explaining that his accumulated system points have officially unlocked a new milestone. Now Liu Yu is finally eligible to contract his second pet beast. Liu Yu decides to choose a fire-type beast that matches his secondary talent, confidently picking the perfect candidate from the system's selection. Tapping the claim button, he officially redeems the Violet Flame Emperor Crow. A majestic purple bird erupts into the room, radiating massive energy as its legendary talents and high elemental stats immediately catch his attention. Even Liu Yu is stunned by the immense pressure this creature gives off, realizing this is indeed a legendary Saint Spirit-grade pet beast. He compares its unbelievable potential to the strongest creatures in the world, knowing that on this entire planet, only 5 sacred guardian beasts reach this tier, making his new companion a future world-class powerhouse. He gently strokes the bird, promising it will one day surpass them all, and activates the contract array with a quick command to seal the deal. The contract successfully binds them, securing his second official partner. Remembering a handy trick, he triggers a special shrink ability, turning the massive beast into a cute shoulder-sized pocket pet. With 2 incredible beasts ready, his revenge against the Liu family feels within reach, though this instantly triggers his grumpy demon dragon who looks incredibly jealous of the newcomer. Liu Yu can only laugh, telling his first partner not to be so petty, promising to upgrade the dragon's bloodline next after making some quick cash, leaving everyone happy as he heads out with his powerful new duo. The newly shrunk little crow flies right over to introduce itself to its new teammate, landing right on the giant demon dragon's snout to say a friendly hello. Instead of getting angry, the big guy gets hit with a playful wink from the tiny bird, which immediately strikes a deep, unexpected chord in the dragon's heart. Just like that, the terrifying, world-ending beast turns into a blushing, love-struck simp. Liu Yu can only watch, realizing that beauty really is a dragon's ultimate downfall. Deciding to get back to business, he calls his first partner over for a massive upgrade. He pulls out a high-tier demon heart, promising it will trigger a breakthrough to spirit grade. The massive dragon's eyes light up at the sight of the rare, glowing treat, gulping the entire concentrated core down in a single, incredibly eager bite. But swallowing raw, chaotic energy without preparing for it immediately backfires, leaving Liu Yu to explain that the dark demonic power is way too dense to digest raw. The poor dragon starts groaning in pain from a sudden severe case of magical indigestion. Telling his partner to take it easy, the young master steps in to assist. He activates his own spiritual power to help refine the chaotic energy inside, wrapping the dragon in a soothing blue aura to break down the dense core safely. Once the wild power is stabilized, he tells the beast to start absorbing it. The dragon lets out a powerful roar as the refined strength surges safely through its veins. Right on cue, the system assistant pops up with some incredible news for them, confirming the demon dragon has officially reached spirit grade and upgraded its skills. The dragon's new skills are absolutely broken, giving him top-tier physical and mental defenses, and as the blinding evolution light finally fades away, the newly upgraded beast immediately starts bragging to the little crow about his absolute superiority. But despite his massive ego, he immediately clings to Liu Yu's arm like a giant puppy, begging his master to go hunt down some more of those delicious demon hearts. Liu Yu has to remind him that rare evolutionary treasures are not daily snacks, before turning his attention to the sheer destruction left behind from their battle. Realizing he cannot just leave a crime scene of shattered concrete and dragon blood behind, our guy pulls out his phone to call in a cleanup crew, downplaying the absolute devastation, calling it a tiny bit of a mess before heading out. When the cleanup team actually arrives on the scene, their leader is completely dumbfounded by Liu Yu's definition of a minor mess. Kneeling down to inspect the damage, he realizes they are dealing with dragon-type blood and wind blade cuts, pointing straight to the powerful clans associated with the Alliance Lord. This investigator deduces that whoever did this has a massive grudge against the Liu family and the power to back it up, ordering his men to sweep the area clean and keep things quiet. With the street scrubbed clean of any evidence, the focus shifts away from the battleground, over to the grand estate of the influential Luo family. As the cleanup leader returns home, a stressed servant runs up to warn him about his sister's latest tantrum, just as the furious young miss storms out to demand some answers of her own. She's absolutely furious that her brother apparently dumped all their family resources into some goblin cocoon, complaining that risking everything on low pet breeding rates is a terrible gamble. But the young master explains that this is not just any regular goblin, since it can breed an entire race, which will become the absolute foundation of their clan once he takes over as head. Even so, she's still salty that her own ice fox seems to be getting ignored for this new project, forcing her brother to calm her down by revealing he already prepared top-tier resources for both of their beasts. Right on cue, a maid arrives carrying the premium materials her brother exchanged for, and the impatient sister immediately snatches the box to take a peek inside. The moment she opens it, she's completely dazzled by how loaded her brother actually is, instantly declaring him the best brother ever after seeing the high-grade elements. The celebration is short-lived though, as he warns her those are actually gifts for Lu Yu, which she has to deliver herself, sparking a brand new tantrum about running errands for free. Despite all her complaining, she still makes her way over to the Divine Dao Hall. Holding the precious box while begrudgingly admitting her brother might actually have a brain. She knows these rare treasures are practically priceless, making her wonder why he'd just give them away, remembering how her brother credited Lu Yu for helping him break past his stalled rank. With his new beast putting an overlord rank breakthrough within reach, the brother's investment makes perfect sense, inspiring the sister to try and butter up Lu Yu so she can get a massive upgrade too. Bursting into the hall with high energy, she eagerly calls out to the senior, immediately presenting the rare Burning Heart Flame and Violet Mystic Ice as a sweet bribe. Lu Yu is actually surprised by the sudden delivery, admitting he was already planning to thank her brother, but she waves it off as a mutual trade since they want his help upgrading their other beasts later. Realizing just how much value these elite families place on his shop's services, he gladly accepts the treasures without putting up any more polite resistance. She makes a quick exit, leaving him to get straight to work with the new materials, which turn out to be the exact high-grade catalysts he needed. He realizes the combination of fire and ice elements is the perfect recipe to heal a spirit beast, immediately summoning his little avian companion to test out the theory. Presenting the glowing crystals, he coaxes the little bird to absorb the raw energy. And the beast eagerly gobbles up the powerful essences on the spot. The immediate reaction catches him completely off guard as a sudden breakthrough begins, triggering a massive evolution that completely reshapes the bird's power level. The system chimes in to confirm his companion has successfully reached the transcendent grade, unlocking a brand new red star skill that massively boosts its flame output. Watching the incredible display of power, he realizes system-bought beasts are on an entirely different level. Meanwhile, the scene shifts over to the prestigious Magic City Beastmaster University, where a strict new instructor is already laying down the law for her class. This is Liu Xin, a top-tier specialist who makes it clear she only respects absolute power, immediately challenging the eager students to step up and prove their strength in a live demo. The classroom instantly erupts into a shouting match as everyone desperate for attention tries to show off. The teacher announces that this demonstration is actually going to be a live beast battle, and she immediately singles out two students from the crowd to kick things off. The blue-haired girl, Du Royan, is completely shocked to find herself on the chopping block, while her selected opponent looks more than ready to show off his skills. The rest of the class starts whispering about her elite support-type talent, contrasting her peaceful abilities against this guy's brutal damage-dealing werewolf pet. With basically zero offensive moves, her classmates assume she's about to get absolutely demolished, prompting her to beg her pink-haired friend Shen Nianian for a quick rescue. Nianian offers to swap places, but only if she gets some proper flattery first, which Du Royan happily delivers without hesitating for even a second. Satisfied with the compliments, the pink-haired savior prepares to take her place, driving the boys in the classroom wild as they praise their favorite goddess. Nianian steps forward and asks the instructor if she can fight in her friend's place, which the teacher approves without any hesitation before checking with the opponent. The smug challenger does not care who he faces and readily accepts the swap, confident that he is going to crush whoever stands in his way. But the entire room freezes when Nianian summons her beast, revealing a tiny blue slime, leaving the audience completely baffled that anyone would bring such a weak pet to a top academy. Even the instructor has to double-check if she is seriously planning to use it, while her opponent warns her that he will not be holding back, slime or not. Yan Xiaopeng warns her that he will not pay for any damages if her slime gets crushed, which immediately upsets her fans in the crowd, though others agree she's just a pretty face without real power. Du Royan speaks up to defend her bestie, telling everyone not to underestimate the slime, but the neighboring students remain incredibly skeptical of its actual capabilities, pointing out that even a top-tier slime caps out at a weak awakening stage 3. The challenger welcomes the challenge, eager to prove them right, and he definitely is not planning on showing any mercy. He summons his beast, a dual-blade-wielding blade-slash-werewolf, to teach her a lesson, unleashing a high-tier threat that completely dwarfs the tiny blue blob. Nianian remains completely unfazed as she prepares her pet for the clash, setting up a wild matchup that everyone in the room is eager to watch. Yan Xiaopeng wastes no more time and orders his werewolf to strike, sending the massive beast straight at the tiny target. Instead of panicking, the pink-haired trainer calmly commands her slime to activate its defense, which summons an ice-blue shield that the opponent immediately scoffs at as a weak gold-grade skill. The werewolf charges ahead to shred through the defensive barrier, confident that a transcendent beast like his will easily tear the slime to pieces. It swings its dual blades down with maximum force, howling in victory as it closes the distance for what should be an easy kill. But the clash leaves the entire crowd stunned as they realize Nianian's pet is built entirely different. The werewolf is completely trapped by the slime's counterattack, but its trainer still thinks a mere slime cannot hold a high-tier beast for long. The crowd quickly notices something is seriously wrong with the match, as the massive werewolf suddenly starts coughing up blood under the pressure, before collapsing straight onto the arena floor, completely knocked out. The defeat leaves the arrogant challenger completely speechless and in denial, while Nianian playfully asks if he is ready to admit defeat. Reality finally sinks in that his pride and joy just got wrecked by a basic blob, leaving him clutching his head in absolute despair as his opponent walks over. She drops some deep wisdom about how pet beasts have infinite potential, recalling the words of the shop owner who promised her slime could one day defeat dragons. This inspiring speech absolutely fires up the spectators in the stands, who immediately start plotting on how to buy resources from the exact same shop. With the battle officially over, Royan rushes down to congratulate her friend, wrapping her in a massive hug to celebrate the incredible victory. The pink-haired trainer remains incredibly humble about the whole thing, while the defeated challenger desperately tries to wake up his fallen partner. Seeing his distress, Royan steps in to offer her medical help for the beast, which the relieved trainer immediately accepts with endless gratitude. Ninian cannot help but tease him that getting free treatment from her friend is a massive steal. Royan happily brushes off the thanks, reminding him they are all classmates before calling on her moonlight butterfly to cast a high-level healing spell. The pure light instantly washes over the battered werewolf, leaving the defeated trainer speechless by how fast a gold-grade skill patched his partner up. Even the instructor is drawn in, wondering if this creature is actually a legendary white moon butterfly, a species that was supposed to have gone completely extinct. Royan quickly corrects her, explaining that it is just a moonlight butterfly evolved from a basic green cotton worm. Hearing that a common worm evolved into this convinces the teacher that an expert is pulling the strings, prompting her to immediately call both girls to her office after class. Once they are behind closed doors, she admits that Ninian was right about the infinite potential of beasts, which the girls happily nod along to, but the instructor warns that such miraculous growth is impossible without high-tier cultivation. She explains that thousands of years ago, an ancient civilization reached the absolute peak of beast training, sparking plenty of curiosity from the girls. As she describes legendary figures known as breeders who could literally turn a simple loach into a dragon. While the concept sounds completely absurd and made up to them, the teacher offers to let them audit a history class to learn more about it. She notes that the legendary profession eventually went extinct because the talent requirements were just too high, which suddenly makes Royan wonder if their mysterious shopkeeper is actually one of those ancient breeders. The teacher immediately zeroes in on that clue, demanding to know more about this mysterious shopkeeper. The girls explain that the slime, the shop owner, and the legendary butterfly all trace back to one spot, making the instructor realize she needs to pay this mysterious expert a personal visit. A sleek ride pulls up right in front of the mythic pet shop, and out steps the university instructor, ready to investigate, standing right before the humble storefront of the legendary shop. Confirming she has the right location, she prepares herself to meet the genius behind it all, while inside, Lu Fan is busy praising his newly evolved pet for reaching Transcendent Stage 10. The door swings open as the instructor steps inside to find the owner, but she is instantly met with a sudden burst of raw power from his pet, leaving her completely paralyzed on the spot from the sheer pressure. Lu Fan quickly apologizes, explaining that his bird is still getting used to its newly awakened talent, which leaves her reeling that a mere talent passive could exert such monstrous force. Trying to regain her composure, she introduces herself as Liu Loyan from the Magic City Beast Master University, formally addressing him as the store manager, and explains that her students praised his shop as the absolute strongest. She wastes no time on small talk and asks him directly if he is a legendary breeder, a title that catches Lu Fan completely off guard, but he quickly plays it cool and says he can be one if that is what she wants, especially since his system interface literally has a breeder module ready to go. This bizarrely casual response leaves the elite instructor with nothing but more questions, knowing he will not just spill his top-secret breeding methods to a stranger. She shifts gears and asks if he can recommend a fourth pet cub for her to contract, which is music to Lu Fan's ears since he is finally getting down to real business. Ready to make a sale, the shopkeeper asks what kind of specifications she's looking for in a companion. She explains her talent is in a rank dragon wings, which should boost dragon types, but she is labeled a family disgrace. This immediately connects her to the prestigious Liu clan, one of the three great dragon taming families, bringing up some painful family history of how her elders constantly berated her for only awakening in a ranked talent, while her peers in the other major clans easily reached S rank or higher. Brushing off the depressing trip down memory lane, she quickly tries to change the subject, leaving Lu Fan to quietly digest all this unexpected noble family drama. He breaks the ice by admitting he does not actually carry any standard dragon-type bloodlines, but then pulls out a jar and claims he has a real dragon ready for her. Loyan immediately calls him out, pointing out that the three great clans tightly monopolize all dragons, so Lu Fan introduces his world-ending demon dragon, a beast that makes normal dragons look like snacks. Hearing about a mythical species that can rival divine dragons completely blows her mind, prompting our favorite shopkeeper to hand over the container so she can see for herself. Still, she has a hard time believing a legendary beast is crammed into a tiny glass jar, until she looks inside and spots a miniature red dragon swimming around like a goldfish. Loyan immediately complains that the legendary dragon looks like a common market carp, suspecting he grabbed the wrong jar from his storage room, but our favorite shopkeeper insists this is exactly the beast he promised. She points out it looks identical to a cheap fish sold by the kilo, prompting Lu Fan to bring up the ancient legend of the fish leaping over the dragon gate. Being a top magic beast student, she easily explains the evolutionary myth, which earns her some quick praise from the store owner. Still, she notes that the actual gate vanished hundreds of thousands of years ago, only for Lu Fan to reveal this specific carp can construct its own gate, while she initially dismisses the claim as completely impossible. The moment he offers to let her walk away, she immediately takes the jar. Securing the container, she initiates the contract process, confirming the beast possesses the legendary talent to jump the dragon gate. Feeling the bond finalize, she realizes the legend is 100% real, leaving her with a companion of massive evolutionary potential. Realizing her mistake, she quickly apologizes for doubting his wares, but bows so energetically that her top suffers a sudden wardrobe malfunction. Lu Fan immediately looks away and swears he did not see a single thing, which prompts her to ask for one final favor. She begs to use his storage room to change clothes before heading out to test her new companion. Lu Fan quickly bolts out of the room to grab her a fresh change of clothes, absolutely terrified that any public misunderstanding would land him on the evening news as a criminal. He is just glad he ran fast enough to avoid an incredibly awkward situation. Heading straight to his car trunk, he fishes out a spare outfit that looks like her size and sprints back to the shop as fast as his legs can carry him. A short while later, he waits patiently at the counter while she finishes changing in the back. Loyan finally steps out in a clean set of clothes and thanks him for the save. He tells her not to mention it before asking about her training plans for the carp. Pointing out that her other three contracted beasts are metal, wood, and wind elements, she explains that she wants to try a completely different evolutionary path this time. To test this out, she brings out a powerful lightning-type crystal to trigger a reaction, dropping the rare resource directly into the fish tank for her new pet to feed on. The little carp leaps up and instantly absorbs the massive surge of elemental energy. This sudden infusion triggers the legendary Dragon Gate trial to manifest right inside the shop. The sheer scale of the power causes Lu Fan's own demon dragon to react violently. He quickly commands his partner to calm down before it disrupts the evolution process. Loyan notices the commotion and worries that the dragon's reaction means her attempt is failing, but Lu Fan reassures her that everything is fine and tells her to keep her focus. Trusting his advice, she turns her attention back to her carp as the energy swells, leading to the massive Dragon Gate fully materializing in a spectacular display of power. Lu Fan explains that the Dragon Gate is finally stable, meaning the carp just needs to pass through to trigger an evolution, prompting Loyan to immediately step forward and cheer her new pet on. The little fish wastes absolutely no time and leaps straight out of the tank, riding a protective bubble of water as it floats up toward the gate. But as it gets closer to the golden threshold, the energy starts to fluctuate wildly, freezing the bubble in place and threatening to halt the entire process. Loyan hesitates, wondering why the evolution suddenly came to a complete stop. Lu Fan explains that the gate is tied to their contract, meaning she must lend the beast her own strength, prompting her to immediately activate her special skill to empower the struggling carp. Seeing her activate this legendary ability makes Lu Fan realize he definitely underestimated her potential. With her energy fully focused, she prepares to push her pet past its natural limits, giving the carp the necessary boost to charge the massive gate once more. The little fish spins through the elemental currents, gathering a massive amount of momentum. Before Loyan gives the final command to make the legendary leap, surging forward on cue, the fish pierces the barrier and begins its physical transformation. It clears the trial, successfully evolving into a majestic dragon-type beast. Almost instantly, Loyan feels a massive wave of feedback energy rushing into her body. Lu Fan confirms that since they share a contract, her own talent is getting pulled upward too, leaving her completely speechless as the golden light reshapes her physical form. Suddenly, massive dragon wings sprout from her back, completing her incredible power upgrade. Luo Ting recognizes the newly evolved beast as a legendary Scarlet Thunder Flood Dragon, which the system confirms is already sitting at an impressive extraordinary Tier 6. Even though the beast is incredibly powerful, she notes it still is not considered a true dragon species. Lu Fan agrees, explaining that her pet is currently classified as a Jiao Dragon, meaning it belongs to a serpent-like branch of the evolutionary tree. But if she pushes it to Overlord grade, it will finally count as a true dragon. Of course, this premium evolution service comes with a hefty friendship price of 5 million credits. Deciding to pay up before the shopkeeper can change his mind, the girl hands over her card and quickly heads out, leaving Lu Fan alone to call out his own pet. The tiny red dragon emerges, apparently having triggered its own evolution from witnessing the Dragon Gate. It explains that the ancient gate held the condensed essence of countless Western dragons, allowing the small beast to absorb a massive wave of new power and insight. This breakthrough triggers a system notification, awarding Lu Fan the true dragon physique and martial mastery. The shopkeeper is highly satisfied with his newly acquired star-grade combat power. Meanwhile, Luo Ting relaxes at home, still trying to process the reality of her newly awakened bloodline. A sudden knock at the door cuts her reflection short, making her wonder who could be visiting so late. Opening the door reveals her teacher, leaving her completely surprised by his sudden appearance. The elderly instructor politely apologizes in case he interrupted her evening rest, but the young tamer quickly invites him inside to chat. Once settled, the teacher immediately asks about her early return and how she is feeling after the day's events. Luo Ting tells her teacher that her day was fantastic, and she found 2 absolute geniuses he needs to watch, making the old man curious since her standards are usually incredibly high. She explains that these first years from the previous civilization managed to contract rare growth-type pets, a detail that instantly catches the veteran instructor completely off guard. He points out that anyone with a growth-type beast is practically guaranteed to become a national pillar, and that is when she casually mentions she also bought a pet there that evolved to monarch grade. The sudden revelation completely breaks her teacher's composure, prompting him to grab her shoulders and demand she summon the creature right away. She obliges, calling forth her newly evolved Thunder Flood Dragon right into the room, introducing a massive high-tier beast that she obtained directly from Lu Fan's shop. The creature boasts a genuine, legendary dragon lineage, which her teacher immediately recognizes as an ancient Jiao dragon thought to be long extinct. He can barely believe his eyes, asking if all these legendary beasts truly came from the same shop. She confirms it, adding that the suspiciously low prices make her think the owner is charity funding the next generation. This leads her to ask if their era might finally see the rise of an SSS-rank Beast Master, a legendary tier of power that most people only dream of seeing. Her teacher admits that no such powerhouse currently exists in the world, but he reveals that the previous civilization did once produce a single SSS-rank figure. However, history shows such absolute power brings either unparalleled fortune or total disaster. Hearing this, the young tamer hesitates, wondering if she should tell him just how powerful the shopkeeper really is. Fearing her teacher might view the shopkeeper as a national threat, Luo Ting keeps his true strength a secret, suggesting instead that they send young, trusted beast masters to buy spirit beasts, which lets them test the mysterious owner while keeping things friendly. Her instructor agrees to the plan, deciding to proceed with her cautious approach. Meanwhile, back at the pet shop, Lu Fan discovers a new system achievement that promises a mysterious reward for officially owning his store. Since he is loaded now, buying the place outright seems like an absolute breeze, prompting him to call his landlord, Boss Jiang, with a generous $17 million offer. But the landlord immediately rejects the deal over the phone, demanding they negotiate in person. Even when Lu Fan points out that $17 million is already way above the local market price, the landlord realizes the kid is in a rush and plans to squeeze him for even more cash. He cuts the call short, promising to settle the final price once he arrives at the shop, leaving Lu Fan to deal with a landlord who is clearly trying to exploit him.